We're just 2 days into the test match in Hyderabad and the match has already had plenty of ebbs and flows. You've had sessions where the Windies had their noses ahead, but now as things stand, it's India well ahead in this particular test match. As I said, it is right now just 3 runs behind is where the Indian team is, 308 for 4 at the moment. 85 not out is Rishabh Pant and also 75 not out at the moment Ajinkya Rahane. That partnership between the two, 146 runs, that's what's taken India to 308 for 4. Just 3 runs behind the West Indies total of 311 that they got in the first innings. Ajit Agarkar and Courtney Walsh with me while I keep asking them questions. If you have any questions of your own and if you're watching us on our YouTube channel or the Facebook page, do write in your question and I'll try and take some of those while we discuss. I'll start with you, Courtney. It was a golden opportunity. We were talking in tea time for West Indies to really rest the initiative. You'd reckon they've missed out on it now?
They have missed out a little bit on it, yeah. I mean, India played well to back the session out without losing any further wicket. I thought just before tea when they got Kohli out would have sort of given them a lift and, something to work with. But played well, and I don't think probably the West Indian attacked as much as they probably could have at the beginning of the new batsman innings. They allowed them to get settled in, and it shows it's still a good batting track. Take nothing away from both batsmen. They have played extremely well. They showed patience. Their shot selection was good. They weren't afraid to play the shots from time to time. And they have dictated and won the session comfortably for India. As it is now, at 208 for 4, definitely that would have been India's session. And it's just more or less, as far as I'm concerned, level off the test match with India slightly in a more advantageous position.
Okay, India in an advantageous position, as Courtney says. Ajit, we were talking about West Indies getting a first innings lead. As things stand right now, they've got a tough task ahead with what India still 6 wickets in hand.
Yeah, I think they missed out a little bit. I think probably didn't attack, and by attack don't mean that you
as
need
Courtney
to have 4 or 5 slips or not that sort of surface. I think the right bowlers didn't bowl after tea. Bishu bowled really well before tea, almost created a chance against Pant. Pant is going to play a certain way. After tea, maybe it was almost decided off spinner will come and bowl. Roston Chase just comes and bowls straight away. Bishu doesn't bowl for a while. Holder again, just 14 overs in the day, their best bowler. I don't know whether it's a case with coming back from an injury and that's what's maybe restricting his bowling. But should have bowled a lot more the way he's bowled through the day. And Gabriel, they're probably their best bowler, not quite at his best today. That's got kind of, again, what we said at the start of this game, Kemar Roach could have made a huge difference, and it's not hindsight. I think everyone said it at the start of this match. Suddenly, unless you have 2 or 3 good quality spinners who are going to make a difference in the game, then it's fine. Otherwise, you need to pick your 4 or 5 best bowlers, and in my opinion, Roach is certainly one of those. May have made a difference. That catch, of course, could have been interesting if they had held on to Rishabh Pant. But apart from that, I think West Indies, possibly didn't attack with their best bowlers for a period of time after tea.
Okay, we'll talk about the rotation of the bowlers as well, but I'll take that point as you mentioned. Kemar Roach, Ajit mentions Courtney. West Indies really missing him badly?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have someone like him on the bench and not playing unless he's not fully fit. He's one of our best fast bowlers. He shows his stats shows that. The last couple of series really dominated, so his confidence is high. So I'm not sure if he came back jet lag or if he's carrying a niggle injury, or maybe they figured, let's play 2 seamers. But that's a risk I would not have taken for 2 reasons. One, Jason Hall had missed out in the last game because of injury. We don't know how well that might stand up. There's a possibility he might not be able to bowl the long spells, as that you just pointed out. Plus, if you remember in the last test match as well, Shannon didn't bowl a couple of times because maybe it was stiff. We were concerned. Not being inside, you don't know what has happened. So with question mark over those bowlers, you'd want to make sure you have another backup, and that backup is Kemar Roach, who can bat. He's your number 1, certainly in the top 2. He's been dominated beforehand. So that's why I definitely had him in, because he's one of the guys who, on his day, can win a test match for you. So you need to have him in. And if it meant having him at the expense of either a spinner or another batsman, and I would have gone for the option of leaving out one of the younger batsmen. It's not a case of you dropping them, but you're picking a horse, of course, because this is a test match you want to win to try to level the series. And I think they have missed Kimon Roach not playing, not being able to have his experience of this attack. And it's clearly showing up. And as you said, I'm not sure why Jason didn't bowl a little bit more, because he was obviously one of the better bowlers on show. But maybe the injury, he might not be able to prolong the bowling for too long. Got to give it enough time to recover, or maybe he's bowling through pain. We don't know. We can only speculate.
Sure. That's an interesting point you talk about, Jason Holder, because even before he played this particular match, report said that he may be fit to bat, may not be really fit to bowl. That ankle still probably troubling him. We really don't know. He's bowled about what?
But
12?
all the more reason. Then you go in with two seamers.
Yes. Should have played Kemar.
Which is hard to understand. I mean, the three spinners were steady, but at no point did they look like bowling India out. It was both the seamers who looked like getting a wicket every time they had a better chance of getting a wicket when they bowled. So they've got that decision wrong, unfortunately, West Indies.
Okay, the other point Ajit makes here, Courtney, about really resting the advantage at that time. One is, of course, an aggressive field placement. The other that he talks about is picking the right bowlers. Did you get a feeling that the Windies were probably just, Captain Holder had that in mind, that he's got 5 bowlers at his disposal, including himself. So rather than, pick the bowler who's in form or is looking good, he went for rotation of the bowlers, ensuring that everyone gets an equal opportunity to bowl?
Maybe that's the way to look when you look back at the game. But what as you said about Bishu bowling so well before the break, you expected him to start back after the break because he was looking unsung. You look as if he could get a wicket, and that did not. You could have probably bowled back Shannon, which, as you said, you'd have to have 5 steps. You could have some men in front of the bat and just to create some pressure, but that did not mean either. And I think we allowed them to start back too easy. They got back into the groove. And then when you brought those bowlers back, the batsmen were already settled.
Okay, let's talk about the Indian batsmen now. Ajinkya Rahane, 75 not out. We were talking about him in T. Wasn't looking the fluid best that we've sometimes seen him, but important runs for him.
Yeah, just grind out that innings. He needs runs. He knows it. You can see it in his body language or the way he approaches his innings at the moment. Made sure he batted time. And Virat Kohli initially with him, and then Rishabh Pant, both batting so fluently, took that pressure off him as well. But really important innings, not just for him, but in the context of the game as well. I mean, India at one point were in a tricky situation. You break this partnership early on, and then you suddenly have Ravindra Jadeja, who's batted well, and Ashwin, who can bat, but under a lot of pressure with a lot more runs for the West Indies to play with. So important innings for him particularly. You can see short of confidence at the moment, but took a little bit of extra time than maybe on other days when he's a bit more confident would have, but really good innings and a key innings.
Okay, this partnership, Courtney, 146 runs, effectively the partnership that's kind of taking the game away from the Windies at the moment. It all could have been different, as Ajit says, had this partnership been broken earlier. Those 2 drop catches, one of course we saw the keeper let go, the one in the outfield as well, where Pant tried to hit a ball over the infield. You think West Indies now would be left pondering what might have been had they got hold of those chances?
Well, for sure. I mean, especially the one off Gabriel, because it was at a crucial time when he was fresh, his tail was up, and confidence would have, bred into his attack. He had that 1 wicket before, that would have been the 2nd wickets, and once you get the wicket as a bowler, your confidence goes up as well, and it's, he probably would have been able to produce some of the magic in that spell, but it wasn't to be. So they must be ruining the chances. That chance would have been a crucial one, and it would have given them another end to bowl at. And as you said, if the 2 batters who come in, we know that Jadeja can bat and Ashwin. But if they come in under a little bit of pressure, obviously it's going to take a toll on them. And it would have been good to see how they cope with that sort of pressure. So a big miss that by the West Indies, I think.
Okay, talking about the aggressive inning, what's with this new generation? You have Prithvi Shaw first, and then you have Rishabh Pant. They're all the T20 generation. They bat like that in Test match cricket.
Yeah, but I mean, you saw Rishabh Pant and Prithvi Shaw both can still defend the ball, which is why they're succeeding. I mean, Rishabh Pant has just changed how this Indian team suddenly changes the game. We saw it in England, a couple of innings, and we've seen here 90 in the previous test and today. What a luxury for Virat Kohli to have if he keeps improving like he does, at number 6, because can change a game in a matter of a session and still plays, normal cricketing shots. He's been really impressive in 5 test career, and Prithvi Shaw again carrying on from that previous innings that he had. So, just sets the game up very quickly for India. 308 runs in 81 overs. Today, in spite of being under pressure at times through the course of this innings, and West Indies, in that session after lunch bowling well, still scoring at a really healthy rate. So, these two guys are going to be key. Hopefully, they keep on getting better as they go on.
Okay, we've got a question, based on, because I was talking about Ajinkya Rahane. We got a question here from Divij Gala. He wants to know, should Rahane continue to be the anchor and then allow Rishabh to just free his arms?
I mean, it's the second day of the test. Someone who's a little bit low on confidence. We saw Rahul at the start as well, trying to get into his innings a bit. There's nothing wrong. He obviously picked up later on. Like I said, on another day, once he was 30-40, he might have started to, take a few more chances early on. But I think that's still a crucial innings for the team, and particularly for his confidence, because it doesn't matter whether he plays as an anchor. As long as he's there, others can still bat freely around him, and India needs partner. Now they've put themselves in a position where they can, if they bat in the next session or session and a half well, they'll probably be favourites for this game.
All right, Courtney, the biggest difference between the two sides, we've seen the track pretty easy for the batsmen, but the difference effectively has been, you saw some Windies batsmen get great starts, but then they would give away their wickets when they reach 30, 35, 40, whereas we've got to see the Indian batsmen, most of them who got good starts have gone on to get 70s and 80s, and that's been the biggest difference between the two teams.
Yeah, well, I've mentioned that from the first test match that, once you get a start, especially on these Indian conditions, as batsmen, once you get to 15, 20, 25 runs, you should be able to try the bat to get in excess of 60 or 70 and not get out softly, so to speak. And I think that's been the big difference. Once the Indian batsmen get in, they try to bat deep on. They all get close to 50 or 60, 70, and that adds up. So I think that has been the difference. And hopefully, they've got a little bit more experience than the West Indian batsmen, or some of the West Indian batsmen, but hopefully they'll be learning from that to realize that, going back to the last test, when she got his 20, you could see that he probably felt that, the 20 came quickly, but 50 or 100 would have been better. Second innings, he did that, he made that adjustment, he got a 50-something, gave him confidence, and this test match he got 100, so that to me is good progression and more of what you want to see.
Okay, now because India are in an advantageous position at the moment, West Indies would now try to be the more defensive team because they're chasing the game. What do you do from here on? Because the pitch looks good for batting.
I hope they're not defensive first thing in the morning, because if they can still prize India out in the next 50, 60, maybe 70 runs, India still have to bat last. There will naturally be some wear and tear. It's the third day tomorrow. It does look good, the pitch, but you don't know how it starts behaving by the end of third day. In the subcontinent, things start happening very quickly.
We can see the cracks. We don't know whether they'll open.
They very well might. So they want India to be chasing anything in excess of 150, 175, maybe 200 on that last day if it turns out that way. So I don't think they should sort of be on the defensive. I think the new ball's due now. They'll probably take that in the morning. Again, if they can break this partnership or get these two out fairly early, India's still 3 behind them. That's the way they should. Ideally, they should look at it. They need wickets. They can't just wait for India to, make a mistake, because at the moment both Pant and Rahane doesn't look like they're going to make any mistakes. All
right, that's all that we have time for. Courtney Walsh, Ajit Agarkar, thanks so much for joining us. As I said, plenty of ebbs and flow in this match. At the moment, it all looks even, Stephen, as far as the score is concerned. But you got to remember that India still have 6 wickets in hand. We've got an exciting day of cricket coming up. Day 3 will be back with ESPN Cricinfo Match Day tomorrow. But for the moment, that's all that we have for you.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments in the comment section below. Click on the bell icon for notifications.